Hey guys, welcome to Recraft Relic channel and I hope you are doing well. So today we are going to build an accordion in Vue.js and yeah, let's get started. But before start, I'll just say if you like what I do each and every Saturday, I'll say like the video, share the video and subscribe to the channel so you can, just keep, just be updated with whatever I put in on every Saturday. And yes, please provide your suggestions if you want me to cover some topic. Please provide me that suggestion and I will try to cover that on upcoming live coding sessions. All right, with that being said, let's get started. I already have a Vue.js application set up here, and I already have a Tailwind CSS CDN already implemented here. So let's start this project. Right, here's my terminal. I'll go to my projects. Live accordion, right, and I'll just say yarn serve. So basically the idea is to build a accordion. So when you so if you don't know what an accordion is, so basically it's a it's a kind of like a drop down. When you click on the title, it expand to show you information. So that's what we're going to build. And I think the server is started, so let's go to the server. All right, here. So you can see the hello world, right? So let's get started with firstly centering it out, like centering the the page, center it out in the page. So what I'm going to do is this hello world. I'm just going to change this with a div. And so this will be like the main parent div, which will hold all the accordions. So we'll just center it out, and because I'm using Tailwind, I can use Tailwind classes. So I can just say width 1/2, so making it like half of the page, and I'm auto to center it out, you can see. And yeah, that looks good. All right, so this is a parent component. Now let's create our accordion component. So not a new folder, new file, accordion.view, and let's define a template and just say accordion. And now let's go here, define our script, this one I guess, yeah, and just say name equal to accordion, nothing else, and I think that's it. In the app.view we have to import this accordion component, so I'm just going to say import accordion from components accordion.view. Great, accordion is defined but never used, I know. So I'm just going to say components, right, and just say accordion, and it's registered now, but instead of this I'm just going to say accordion, right, and you can see the accordion being rendered there. So now let's do some styling in here. So we have accordion here. I'm just going to give it, so this is basically going to be the title. So for example, I'll just say this is some collection of information. Let's say this is an accordion, right? And now we're just going to do class, because we are using Tailwind, we can use Tailwind classes. So I'm just going to give it bg green 600. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to give it text white. I'm going to give it some padding, p5 maybe. Yeah, and I'm going to make it rounded as well. p5 is a bit too much. I'll just going to do p4, and I'm going to make it bold, so font bold. Yeah, so this looks good. This is good for a title. Now what I want to do is I want to wrap it inside a div. Okay, So let's wrap it inside a div. So this will be the parent div. So it is going to hold our title and as well the content. So this is the div for title. Now let's define a div for the content as well. And this will basically hold our content. For content, I'm going to use slot tag. So if you don't know what a slot tag do in Vue.js, so basically it is used for, rendering children. For example, so if I go here and I say, whatever child I'm going to put here is going to be visible there. So element is missing and tag, it is here. So yeah, you can see, right? So the basically slot, what slot do is it going to take this children and going to render here. So it basically makes a component dynamic or reusable. So you can pass like any kind of children you want to the component. All right. So that's being said, we are using slot now. Let's style our parent component a bit. First and foremost, I'm going to give this one a padding p10 maybe, to give it padding from the top. I'll just say pt10 because it's also giving it from the side, right? pt. Right now, let's go ahead and say, let's style our parent component. What we're going to do, class equal to border 2, so border width 2, and you can see the border. I'm going to give it a bit of padding. P5 is too much, let's say P2, right? I'm going to make it rounded, right? And I'm going to, I think the border color is fine, it looks okay, that's fine. Now for this div, I'm going to give some margin from the top, MT4 maybe. Yeah, and I'm going to do same thing. I'm going to make give it a border, give it some padding, and make it rounded. This is how it will look basically when it is opened. So now we have this logic here. Now let's. The other thing is that this title, it is not dynamic. It is static. So for example, if I render another accordion here. Let's I have some lorem ipsum here, so I'm just going to use that dummy text. For example, if I'm going to paste this here, so you can see that content changes, but the title it stays the same. The other thing I want to do is give this div a bit margin from the top as well, right, to compensate with this. So now you can see, right, this title doesn't change. We can change the children's, but the title is not changing. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this title, I'm just going to take this title from the props. So what I can basically do is I can put double curly braces here and just say title. And I'm going to define a prop here. Props title, which is a string. Right, and then I'm going to go to the app.view this, and I'm just going to say title, because it's not a dynamic, it's a static title, so I'm just going to use title. This is not a this is a accordion, right? You can see so instead of this is accordion, I'm just going to say lorem ipsum, right, and just reload. And for this I'm just going to say this concept or whatever. So now I'm just going to pass the title again. This is because this is a static title, so I'm just going to use title. I'm not going to bind it. So now we have this, and now the last part is to basically make it close and close and open. The other thing that I want to show is, because this component is reusable, now you can actually put it inside another accordion. So for example, if you have like a multi-nested accordion, you can do something like this. For example, I can have a P element here, and I'll say more information, and I can just put another accordion in here, right? Save it, and you can see, right? So there is like accordion inside the accordion, you know, and you will see the implication of it when I will basically, you know, define the logic for opening and closing the accordion. All right, so let's get started with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, so I'm going to basically take a, you know, basically a property in the state. So I'm just going to say data return object, right? And I'm just going to say return is open, right? And by default it will be false. And what we are going to do when it is false, so now I'm going to use the class attribute, the dynamic class attribute of Vue.js, and I'm going to say and if you don't know, you can use static class attribute and the the dynamic class attribute together. So if there are classes which you don't which you know that will not change for sure, then you can just put them here and add the dynamic classes here, right? So I'm going to use what I'm going to say is an array. Do I have to do an array? I don't think. I'm going to just be something like this, is open. And so if it is open, just say d block, and if it's not, then hidden. So basically d block is a display block for Tailwind, and you can see, you know, because it's false, it just, you know, got hidden, right? And hidden is the property for making display none, you know, of any component. This is for Tailwind. And if I make it true, and you can see all of these basically expands. So now for start it will be false, and then what we are going to do is on click of this div, this title, so I'm just going to say we on click is open equal to not is open, right? So I'm just going to say that I'm going to go here. One other thing I want to do is I want to make it cursor pointer. So we know that we have to click on this title to expand cursor pointer, right? So let's reload. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Now if I click it, you can see, you know, it opening. If I go here, click it as well, then you can see, you know, the component being, you know, expanded. If I click this, and one important thing to understand here is that because these components are different instances, they have different states. So for example, if I open this one, it doesn't affect the other components, you know, because they have like everybody have their own internal state, right? And I can click on this to, you know, close this, and go here. I can add another multi-nested accordion if I want to. So for example, I just can go here and say something like this, right? And once if I open it, if I open this, then you can see another nested accordion. So yeah, guys, this was pretty much it. This was a short stream today, but yeah, I mean, I think this is cool. So we basically learned how to create an accordion, and as well, you know, how the dynamic classes work and how slot works. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And let me know, guys, what kind of videos or what kind of topics you want me to cover, so I can go ahead and cover those topics.